Is up, everybody? Thanks so much for
Hi,
being here.
everyone.
Has everyone recovered from today? I haven't yet. That is one of the
No,
craziest days in trial I've ever seen. I mean, I you've been watching this stuff longer than me, babe. Have you ever seen anything like that today?
I mean, not there's there. It was right up there with they're like the defense calls Richard Alexander Murdaugh, where
Yeah,
you're like, what?
yeah.
It's right
Uh,
up there with that, especially because we've watched Katie testify many times and had a feeling that she might flip at some point, and it's crazy.
but yeah, but now we are on to creators who crush, and we are super excited about our guest today, Afi Patterson, because it's funny. We had her on initially. We talked about the Melly trial because we knew she was a badass attorney. And then I was looking at her Twitter and I was looking at her links and like, she is way more than a badass attorney, folks. Um, she is working on stuff and it's pretty exciting. So just a quick, before I bring her on, just a quick bio that we're going to, uh, she serves as a production attorney for the Emmy award winning series Divorce Court, provides legal counsel to Dish Nation. And we're also going to talk about her website, Blue Door Organics. We're super pumped to talk to her. So without further ado, Afi Patterson. Hey, Afi, how are you?
Hello, I'm really great. I was just looking at what you guys were talking about today in court, like while you guys were introing me. Can you tell me what happened? Because I
You
I was
sure? Are you familiar with the Dan Markel trial
no,
at
catch me
all?
up just
All right, I'm going to give
briefly.
you. I've been
Just
doing a lot because this is the third trial. So it is the
mm,
murder of a FSU law professor. Now
oh,
he had a contentious divorce with his
okay,
ex-wife, and his
okay,
ex-wife's family decides, and the ex-wife's family wants to move. He doesn't want them to move. They're going back and forth, back and forth. They decide her brother, and now we're her brother is on trial now, who wasn't on trial before, but they decide they're going to hire a hitman to kill Dan Markel. So they do. They hire the hitman. They go to his house. They kill him, and we've had trials so far for the two hitmen. Well, one of the hitmen, because one of the hitmen's turned as
mm,
a state's witness.
hmm,
So the woman who was married to him, Wendy Adelson, her brother Charles Adelson, Charlie Adelson, hires two hitmen, and it's through his girlfriend at the time. His girlfriend, Katie McBono. I can't even
So
like.
many players.
There's so many players. So all right. So Charles Adelson, and by the way, this happened. The murder happened in 2014. So
okay, wow, wow,
Charles Adelson, the brother to Wendy Adelson, hires a hitman through his girlfriend. His girlfriend's the father of her children. They have two children together. Is the hitman. So but he doesn't even know. The two of them don't know. We find out today they have no idea who each other. Like he just says
okay.
he says to her, "Do you know someone who can do this for us? Do this for me. We need someone killed." Am I missing something, babe? Go ahead. I feel like you want to say
No,
something.
but she's testified. So this is the third trial. The first trial was the girlfriend and the hitman who have the children together. The
Okay.
hitman was found guilty, and the girlfriend, the jury hung
And they
because they didn't want to send two parents to prison. And then the second trial was her trial. And in both trials, she testified in her own defense. And she
Okay.
said she had nothing to do with this whole thing. And she also stood up for the family and said they had nothing to do with it. And
Okay.
that's been her song and dance for like 10 years.
and
Okay.
so then she's convicted, right? And we haven't, and she's appealing it. She's convicted. This is in 2022, that trial. She's appealing it, and then all of a sudden, she was on the state's witness list, and we knew that she was going to. We thought she was going to testify. She comes out and she just starts testifying. I lied in those first two trials. I was hired. I Charlie Adelson hi, reached out to me to hire these hitmen. To hire my. So she just totally flips. We've never heard the story from her
Wow.
before. First time it's ever been public at all that she admits to being hired to do that, hiring the defendants,
Wow.
the hitmen. um,
And Bob was
Beyond
like,
that,
he might. she might change her mind and not tell this story. She might plead the fifth because she has an appeal
Mm.
pending, but she didn't.
And beyond that,
I,
go ahead.
I'm wondering, like, what was the incentive? Why did she do that?
So the defense
Mm.
tries to bring out basically that she's hoping that she gets, because she got life without parole, that she gets
Okay.
like that her
They
like.
haven't given her an exact promise yet of what she'll get.
And she
Okay.
just kind of came out, was like, I gotta get this off my conscience. I gotta tell this story. So, but what gets it gets even crazier is that today, so the whole time, everyone who's watched this case, or at least at least me and Shannon and a lot of people that were watching with us, think that her parents were also involved. Her parents. So it's, yeah. And then today they put out this timeline. I've never seen a more. You got to watch it, Afi, if you have a chance. I've
I
never seen
will.
a more compelling. So they got a timeline with, Cellbrite. So they got where they're at, who's calling who, and so who was calling who. And by the way, there were two attempts to try to murder him. They drove down. The hitman drove down the first time, and they wouldn't do it because he had two kids with him. So they drove back
Mm.
up. So they drive back a second time. But during all these times, we find out the parents are involved, and the parents are the mom texts the son who's on trial now and says, I want to do something. I want you to delete this. We find out at the end today. This is the ending, like, aha moment was, she says, she texts her son, delete this text, and then I'm going to send, and then she sends the next text. The next text is, I have an idea for Dad's 70th birthday. And essentially the birthday gift that she wanted to set up was this hit so that they could get custody of the kid. It's,
Wow. Okay. You guys are sucking me in.
it,
I've got to go.
It's like one of those cases that has everything. You're
Wow.
like, there's a
Yeah.
love triangle, there's, the divorce, there's been
the
this,
Latin
like,
Kings. One of the hitmen
yes, the Latin
is a
Kings are
king
involved.
since 15. But the wildest thing, Afi, is the and he, by the way, he's just a driver. He doesn't, and he won't. He's like, I won't shoot. He has kids. I won't kill him.
Respect.
He is the most credible person in this
Mm.
entire trial. It's just wild. He took a deal. They get him on RICO charges. He brings
Mm.
a separate deal, and he comes in. He's like, I'm telling you. He tells the whole deal. And compared to the sister, the one who set this up, he's a
Yeah.
thousand times more credible than anyone else. Who
Okay.
it's
I've got to watch it. How much money? How much money? How much money was on the table? Like, why?
$100,000. Oh,
100,000.
oh, oh! It gets better. It gets better. The
That's a
hitmen,
good bit of money.
the hitmen were killed in money that was stapled, and the by the way, the guy who does it is a dentist, and they always refer to they're doing this for the dentist, and Charlie Adelson, who's on
Mm.
trial, is a dentist. And what does his girlfriend testify to last week? That he kept his money stapled. So, by the way, he's also a moron because, like, so
Okay. You guys are pulling me in. I'll be up all night
yeah, look
watching
up.
this drama.
It is. It's a
Wow.
rabbit hole that's worth going down because it's got a lot.
And like I said, this presentation today that I've never
Yeah.
seen. So they have a PowerPoint, and then they pull up all the parties' names, and they put the times, and they're like, this is
Mm.
when this person talks to this person, and this is, and like the family is all messaging each other at the same time that the hitmen are messaging each other.
Wow.
Eh,
I love, and a jury loves a good audio visual. Like, that's fantastic. That's like you're literally telling a story. You're in a movie. So that's awesome. Go prosecution.
Yeah, it was something.
I can't
Now,
wait to check it out.
Go ahead, babe.
I
You
was just
guys
going to
like
say,
totally pulled me in.
Yeah,
now
what's
we've got
Yeah.
to transition
yeah,
I'm
to
like,
things that
thank you
are
for the
zen,
drama though.
self-care,
Mhm.
zen. But yes, it has all the
Okay.
drama.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, let's transition here. Like I said, when I was checking, not only are you a badass attorney and you're handling stuff like this with attorneys, I mean,
Mhm.
with defendants who are in gangs and doing all this stuff, and on TV, explaining it to people like us so we know what's going on. You're also very creative. You have a website, Blue Door, self care, Blue Door Organics, where you sell skin creams, and you're
Mhm.
branching out and doing other things. Talk to us about being a creative and what inspires you.
Um, so I'm a Leo, and about um, about May every year, I just start getting just like a creative energy, and I have to get it out, and I just have like idea after idea after idea, and I just get it out. But for a very long time, this is going to sound really weird, but for a very long time, always wanted to have a product where I shipped things to people in boxes because when I was a kid, I used to love getting what is it like just junk mail. So like I'd be 8, 9, or 10, and I'd have junk mail in my name. And I remember just like going out to the mail, and I'd look, and I'd be so excited when my name would be there, and I'd just look up in the sky, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, God knows I'm alive," because I'm like a random kid getting junk mail. Like that happens to kids, I guess, like back in the day. So I've always wanted to have something where a product where I ship something to people, and just Blue Door came to me. It's kind of like an amalgamation of everything that I've ever done in my life and been through. But mainly when I was in LA, I needed a way to relieve stress. I was new to LA, and I was new to the traffic, and the traffic was insane. So I needed to just put my energy into something that brought me just joy and brought me relief and a way to de-stress. And that's how Blue Door happened.
Go ahead, babe.
Can
It's like
you,
a roundabout
I,
way.
yes, can you talk a little bit about the name and the naming process? I mean, having a
Yeah.
company is like having a child, you put a lot of
Mhm.
thought, I'm sure, into how you and why you selected Blue Door.
Yeah, Blue. Okay, so it's definitely my baby, and I told you guys I had a couple of props. Oh, so I read this book. Well, my favorite color is blue, and I read this book that I randomly got in DC one day. It's by Khalil Gibran. It's called The Prophet, and there was a poem in there I read about love, and it was talking about love and sorrow, and how they work together. And it was like talking about the pain of heartbreak and pain of sorrow, and like how it may be bad, but it's just kind of like carving your heart out, so you can just receive so much more. And I just kind of thought about that, and I kind of took that to use with blue, and I thought of the ocean, and the blue of the ocean, and how deep it is, and whatever you want, whatever you desire, it's limitless. It we can't measure how deeply it can be filled. And then I thought about the blue of the sky, and how some people always think that there's like a ceiling on what they can do, but the blue of the sky represents like how high you can fly. There's no limit to it. And then the door is very close to me because it just represents what's on the other side of fear. It represents courage, and it represents curiosity, because I think you have to, it's normal to fear things. It's normal to be afraid of failure, but, kick that door down and walk through it. So that's how I came up with the name.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now you have this idea. You have this
Mhm.
name. Like, talk to us about like your first just starting this. How did you get into the biz? How did like what was the first thing you did when you decided you wanted to do this?
Just God. So I was working with some women, and we were just talking about like hair and body products, and it just ended up becoming my test subjects. We worked together in the office. I'd go home at night, I'd make some stuff up, go to the office, share it with them, and they really liked it. And I was like, really? Oh my God. So I just started just making more, and then just started researching. And even when I did my first website, I got somebody on Fiverr. I was scared; it wasn't like super sophisticated, and I had this mentor that I found, that I like hunted down. I found her on Instagram. I liked her stuff, and I just started messaging her. She's like really famous and amazing today, which is wild. We're still friends, but and I say that like she actually responded to me. I had reached out to like a ton of people saying, "Hey, like I'm trying to get into this industry. I love your aesthetic. I love what you've done. Can you help me? Can you give me some guidance?" And so many people were like negative, or just kind of like, oh, just gave like cursory responses and stuff. But she actually reached out to me, sat down with me one day during working hours, and we talked for like 3 hours, and she just just gave me the game, or her version of the game, which was phenomenal. So, I just started like reaching out to more people, doing my research, learning, and, you know, growing and evolving. But that's how it started, just hustling, asking people, and just starting.
Well, when you say you kind of just went back and started whipping stuff up, like did you have a background in it before? Like you were like what were you putting together to make this stuff?
Oh, so just a little bit of background in, I guess like a natural life. So my mom, I used to love it. My mom, whenever somebody was sick in the community or sick, in our household, my mom had this beautiful pantry with, it's like glass windows, and she had like so many different teas and a lot of dried herbs that she would just grow and dry, and she just always like put things together. And I used to think I, lived in like a little apothecary. I thought I was like a like my own little pharmacist. So that's kind of like always stuck with me. And I just, you know, was researching different oils, researching the different benefits, would research teas, the different extraction processes for the different oils and the flowers and things like that. And that's pretty much where it started. Just kind of like whatever I had, whatever I knew, I leaned into it. And talking with the women at work, what kind of oils do you guys like? What do you use on your hair? What do you use on your skin? So
Very cool.
that's how
And
it started.
before I go to Shannon, I want to kind of talk about you reaching. That's your
Mm-hmm.
story about reaching out to like a bigger person is
Mm-hmm.
really so cool because like a lot of us we're kind of starting together on this YouTube journey. Me and
Mm-hmm.
Publicly Buzz Steve and Joe Jackalow and Bob Mata, we all kind of just DM'd each other, and you just never know what that's going to lead to. Like Steve had reached out to me on Twitter, and he was just like, "Hey, my friend Steve," he was just like, "Hey, do you want me to like edit a video for you or whatever?" Because I had tweeted like,
Mm-hmm.
"I suck at editing videos, I can't do it." And I was like, and I went to Shannon, I'm like, that would be great. And now we're like working together. You just never know. And you like you said, like we've sent a ton of messages to people who aren't going to
Mm-hmm.
respond, but the right people are going to respond and
Oh
can help you.
yeah, the right people. Yeah.
So that's just I thought that was interesting. But go ahead, babe. Sorry.
Can you talk a little bit about? We talked a little bit about this before you came on, but it just really resonated with me as a woman. And I actually wrote down a quote from your Instagram that I love, that you posted. It says, "Women are taught to be too many things that contradict each other. So I've decided
Oh,
to just be strange and powerful." Shitara Leora was
yeah.
the author of that. I hope that I said her name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I love that because you were kind of talking a little bit before we came on about like that you didn't need permission. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's something that holds so many people back. Um, can you just tell us about that for you?
Yeah, just I just think that I guess I feel that like for me, I was taught that you need to have like some sort of degree or some sort of certification or 15 years of experience in a certain area, and then you'll get some accolades, then you'll have some credibility, then you'll have permission to put yourself out there. And it's like, no, you don't need that. All you have to do is focus, and be okay with failure. I remember I took this online class, like, just something I randomly found. And they were talking about, it was taught by a professor at MIT. And he was like, there's something called IFF, intelligent fast failure. Like you go into something knowing you're going to fail because you need the lesson from it so you can improve. And each iteration is going to get better. And I don't know if I mentioned this, like I heard recently this Joss Stone song. It's goes something like, I have a right to be wrong. And that's just been so freeing for me. Like I'm always like, you know what? Oh yeah, I failed. That's a mess up. Take my lesson. If it's something I did that's wrong, I'm always like, I've forgiven myself for that. Like I've released it. I've forgiven myself. And I keep going because I have a right to be wrong. Like, this world, this life, everything, it's a challenge. But, you know, as long as you're willing to learn from your mistakes or your failures and keep it moving, I think that's fantastic. But again, yeah, I don't need permission from anybody to be in this space. My mom, started me off with it. Nope, I don't have any certifications in anything, but I'm learning and I'm working with people, and that's all I can do.
By the way, I'm sharing the Instagram. Blue Door Organics has a Facebook, has an Instagram, and I know the mods are putting in chat your Twitter and your YouTube. Which, by the way, I know you're starting to
Thank you.
You're starting to like the Twitter a little bit, huh? You're starting to like to. Uh,
Man, I, I I try to get away from it. I didn't want to do any of this. I try to get away from it, but people keep asking me questions, and I'm like, I feel so obligated. So and I enjoy it, but yeah, I'm getting into it.
well, it's awesome, and we appreciate like you're helping us a lot, especially in a lot of these trials. It's like there's some, especially like Melly, like there's a lot of stuff going on, folks. So if you want someone to get
Yeah.
some good information on, make sure you're following on Twitter. We're sharing the links in there. Um, but I wanted to get back something that actually that you did actually tweet. I wanted to get to is you were
Mhm.
talking about you were setting up an appointment with a bee person, right? You have like a bee guy now, right? Like
Yes.
tell us about like what you do in selecting the ingredients for your products on Blue Door Organics.
So, okay. There are different types of, I guess with the oils, it's so important. If people buy their essential oils when they go to, like, your organic stores, I won't name anyone's particular name, but you always have to look on the back and look at the way that they extract their oils. There are so many different methods of extraction. Um, for example, some oils are extracted using just really, really harsh and harmful chemicals. You don't necessarily want that on your body, but they'll sell that at these stores who hold themselves out as, organic markets. And you think you trust them, so you think you're buying something that's good for you, and you necessarily aren't. So I always look for the method of extraction, and then I always try to get directly to the source, not, three and four middlemen. So, and like my bee master, for example, I don't raise bees in my home because we've got kids on either side of us, so it's not a good thing. They're gonna look in the bee crates. But I work with a guy who's really, really awesome. And, he keeps the bees on his farm, and he also, has of course, his own bees. And I learned so much from him, and just the types of honey that I can have access to. Working with him is fantastic. Like I told you guys, I have this sage honey, which is it's a dream, and then I have wildflower honey, which is really good for people with allergies. One of my faithful clients, she messaged me a little bit ago, and she was like, Afi, I was sick. It was late at night. I did not have anything, and I could not go to the store. She said, I didn't know what to do. And I just went and got like a tablespoonful of your honey, took it, went to bed, woke up, no sore throat, felt perfect. And I was like, yeah, it's like things like that. And I didn't even, I wasn't selling it, but my clients, I always include something in their boxes when I ship stuff out. It's like a callback to me when I was a kid, getting that little extra thing in the mail, and you're like, oh,
Mhm.
somebody thinks I'm special. So I was like, hey, try the honey. And it warms my heart to know that like it worked for her, and it healed her. So it's beautiful for me.
That's amazing. That's so cool. Go ahead, babe.
You, you guys are just letting me run my mouth. You're going to have to stop me.
No,
No,
we want. Are you kidding me?
we're not
That's the
going to
whole.
stop you.
That's the whole point of you being here. We want you to. We want to hear from you. That's the whole point.
Absolutely. So, I mean, well, first of all, your skin is and your hair are like a walking billboard for you.
Okay.
Every time you're on, your skin is just freaking radiant. Everybody's saying so in the chat. So,
Thank you. I don't
yeah.
know how to read the chat. I don't know how to do anything. Should I push a button or something? I'm
No,
afraid.
we'll
I
tell
don't.
you next time you come.
I,
We'll tell you. Don't
I
worry.
don't know the technology.
So, I just wanted to go through some of your products that you have and that you recommend to people. Babe, can you pull up
Yes,
her
let's go.
website?
Let's
Oh
get
my
the
God.
website. Boom.
Okay.
So should I go to
Um,
shop first? Where do you want me to go first?
Go to scroll down. I have three products right now. I'm bringing the honey out. I'm gonna bring the honey out in a couple of months. But we have okay. So the cocoa cat. I need to get my ingredient list, but it's very. I would describe it as like it smells like mom or it smells like home. It's got very rich raw cocoa butter in there. It's very, very good for if you have psoriasis or eczema. It really helps improve the elasticity in the skin. I use Cocoa Ket also on my hair. Um, and it's got like a little bit of UV protection, but you still, of course, need your SPF. Then we have the cocoa butter. Oh, we've got, oh my God, rosehip. Seed oil, and I think I've got raspberry oil in it as well. So then we've got nude. Oh, and everything is the base for everything is Nilotica. So Nilotica is like you guys have heard of shea butter, right?
Yes.
So it is a shea butter, but it's unique. It's we get ours from Uganda, so it's like East African shea butter. It's cold processed, never heated, um, and it's just the most fantastic, delicate cream you'll ever put on your skin. Nude has a little bit of it's a little bit thicker, and it's better in I think the colder. In the wintertime because it really helps you retain moisture. And we've got some really good organic mango butter in that. And I think there's some raspberry seed oil in that as well. You can pull up
Which one?
ingredients if you want to,
The
but
third.
for nude. And I also, I call it nude. It's unscented because I'm a big perfume person.
Mhm.
Well, I don't have like a ton of perfumes, but I like to have like, my unique scent. So nude is unscented for people who, need to be moisturized but want to also add their own perfume. Like I believe in having a signature scent.
Or
So
hypoallergenic, that's wonderful because a lot of
yeah.
fragrances people tend to just avoid if it says it has fragrance at all because they may be
Mhm.
sensitive to any type of fragrance.
Yeah. Oh, if you go down, like one of my clients sent me, I love it when they right there, the third one, they send me photos and
The
like
third one, honey.
the one
This
where
one?
the in house, yeah, they send me photos. I have like my
Oh, that's
my
beautiful.
loyal clientele. They'll order like every 3 months. We send uh every 3 months, like for birthdays, or we'll shoot them a coupon, or they're just like out and desperate and going crazy. I have like my regulars, and they send pictures and they email messages, and it feels really good.
By the way, you are like
Mhm.
someone orders something. You're the one doing it, right? You're the one packaging everything and
Oh
sending
yeah.
it. This is all you. Like this is your. This is your.
Mhm.
While you work full time, this is you're getting orders and shipping stuff out separately.
Yep, that's my baby.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's my baby. I try and blend on Tuesdays and ship out on Fridays. But and then my clientele, it's small enough where I try to make sure that I can write a note in all of my packages. Let me tell you, can I tell you about my model?
You sure can.
Yes,
That she's we're
she's a
actually friends. It's a gorgeous girl, and that's why I'm always like, everything works together, like how it should work together if you just kind of like stay focused and just have like a belief in whatever you want. So this gorgeous girl, I was at like some entertainment event, and I called a Lyft, and after like 20 minutes, this Lyft driver comes, and it's her. And I was like, ma'am, your hair is gorgeous and your skin is creamy. And we just like talked the whole way home. And I was like, I have an idea. And, whenever it comes to fruition, I'd love it if you model for me. She's like, okay, here's my number. And like 8 months later, when I was, had a little bit of budget and I could do like a nicer website, I called her up and she was like, of course. So, and then of course she's gone on to be like fantastic. Like she's a stylist and like a writer director now. She's awesome.
The website is amazing, by the way. Just the
Yeah.
functionality. It's really set up
yes,
nice.
but also the
Yeah.
aesthetic of it is beautiful.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's my big.
assuming that's highly you.
Thank
You're,
you. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
that
it's
was my little
akin with,
vision.
naming, I think. Just it
Yeah.
just gives you the feeling of like pampering, but also not
Okay,
like
Joseph.
pampering, but not like, I don't know.
Just taking care of like yourself, you know. Oh my God, I was just reading this book and they were talking about, we all hear when you're in the helicopter and they give the directions, they're like, put your mask on first, and then help everybody else. I'm all about putting my mask on first because, I think like, as a woman, we're nurturers. And I think, oh my God, like people look to, sorry, Jay, people look to women to like nurture and guide and support and be so strong. So you've got to take care of yourself because I think you can perform better if you feel better about yourself, right? So, you
Right.
can protect and defend when you feel like you look good and you're rested. So take care of you.
Anything else you want us to highlight on the website or on the Instagram? You tell us.
No, I'm just happy to be here. I've got to update a bunch of stuff. We've got the holidays coming, so don't spend too much time on it because you'll see some cracks and flaws. I've got
Well,
to work it out, but
I do want to say we already have an amazing review from, because the last time you were on, we were talking about this, and I don't know if she's
hmm
in here, but Miss Brazy in the chat purchased your cream. Best cream I've ever used. I'm in love with that. Look at that. We already have a glowing review from J Bo Nation, folks. So you're not going to
yes,
regret
and
it if you get some cream.
that like I think that was my first Canadian order, which just like totally I did like a little dance like that warmed my heart. So thank you guys and thank you Miss Brazy so much.
Go ahead, baby. You have another question? Or?
Well, I'm just kind of looking through the chat as well because a lot of people are saying that they want to try it because they have terrible eczema, they're scent sensitive, so they're really
Oh,
happy that you have a fragrance-free option. Um, so people are
hi
super
Charlotte.
excited about it. And I think that I think what I was trying to say before is that it's
hmm
pampering, but it doesn't seem, I love the aesthetic because it doesn't seem pretentious.
hmm
It's very, it really evokes kind of what you were saying, like that it's this very small batch that's taken, that somebody really is taking such care with. And so I think if that is what you are going for, you have nailed it.
Thank
Um,
you.
you're welcome. I was wondering what is
Thank
something that
you.
you are thinking of branching into next
So
with
I'm really,
what you're doing?
yeah, so I'm thinking just staying like true to what I know. I'm really want to get more into supplements. So, for example, like vitamins, you're a good source for vitamin C, a good source for vitamin E. I'm getting into supplements when I'm just starting with the honey, but that's that's my next goal, just to, especially as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like I cannot chase my morning coffee with my early evening wine anymore. Like I've got to do more water. I've got to do, better vitamin supplements. I wish I could show you. There's this thing I got the other day. It's called like a Brock shot, and it's like this little. Well, I got the container. It's like a little small container, and I can just put like my green powders in there and blend it up really quickly because I'm not a person who likes to do like a whole smooth.
Uh oh.
Oh, did we lose her?
Are we still coming through, guys? Can you hear us? I think we might have lost. Oh
I feel like maybe we're not
no,
frozen. Oh,
no, you're back. You're back. You're back.
I saw my frozen face. If that happens, y'all just look away.
it
Oh
always
my god.
freezes at the worst moment.
Yeah, this internet.
Um,
Okay,
go ahead.
am I still here?
Yeah, yeah, you're good. You're good.
You're here.
Okay. I want to get the Brock shot. You guys heard what I was talking about with the Brock shot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like really just trying to move maybe into just supplements like, what we put in our body next. That's kind of like the evolution I'm going toward. So,
So let me ask you this:
yeah.
if it was up to you, would you want to just do this full time and no more lawyering, or
No. I Look, I don't want to do crim law anymore, but I just get sucked back in all the time and I'm like, okay, I need to be here. But no, I would never. And my beauty mentor, she's like fantastic, right? She's doing really well. She's in a lot of, amazing boutiques, really big stores as well. And she's like, trying to get me to focus on it full time. And I'm like, no, I like lawyerizing. I mean, I enjoy it. I really do. I
okay?
don't know.
All right, that's cool.
I love that you are like, I can do both things. I love it, because
Yeah.
you have this very, with law, it's very analytical. And then you also have
Mhm.
this very creative side. And it's just
Yeah.
so interesting to see the juxtaposition of that with you.
But it feels so good to have, this creative outlet and just,
Yes.
color and again, I really enjoy sending packages. Like I like getting the money and stuff, but I love giving gifts. So it just feels good. It feels like service to me. So
so let me ask you this: what's the best way we can support you? Like, go on the gram, go on the Instagram, and share like some of your posts, or like how do you get like your products out to the world? What's the best way to get stuff out for you so we could try to help you out?
hmm. I think I think Instagram is really fantastic. So it's Blue Door Organics. I have to, and again, like it's a lot of work. Like I'm, in this season, I've got to start posting more. Oh, there I am. So yeah, following on Instagram would be great. Um, Again, like, in this last quarter, I'll be posting more, giving more information. I have, if you sign up for the newsletter, I'll be sending more information out. Like, for example, I've got there's this post I'm about to put up, and it's about a pain journal. Have you guys heard of that?
No, I
Like a
haven't.
No.
pain, okay. So, just, this just going toward wellness. I have, without just getting too deep into it, like I have something happened to me when I was like 18. I was in love with a non-winner, and I was just like, you know, going through a heartbreak, and I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything, and I just got out a pen and paper, and like the ink in the pen was like the poison, right? So I just kind of like wrote and wrote and wrote until the poison was gone. I got that from a Lauryn Hill song. She came out with the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill when I was 18.
Mhm.
I'll count my age up real quick. Um, but I was like, she had this lyric. She said, "Last night I bled till the poison was gone," and like I started doing that. I would just like write in my pain journal, and I never really went back to it because I was like, I don't ever want to revisit that pain. It's just
Mhm.
it helps me move on, and because pain can like get caught in your body and it can
Yes.
just cause all types of symptoms. So yeah, just so I want to talk more about that, just healing and wellness. And there's a post I did about eggs. Um, I did a deep dive on, eggs and the best eggs. They like people will say, oh, like, they have their free range eggs. I mean, free range chickens. And then you figure out like free range means they only have like 3 to 4 inches, you know, between
Right.
all the chickens, and then they debeak them. Some people, they debeak the chickens. And then they'll say they're cage free, but they might be cage free, but they're not outside, right? There. So it's like I just want to give people a little bit of information about just little things that can help. But yeah, I think Instagram is the best way.
I'm just gonna just to suggest. Have you ever thought of going on the TikTok? Let me just if you did if you did videos. Oh boy, that was an emphatic throw of the pen. I feel like
It's
I've
so much
upset
work.
I've upset our
It's so
guests.
much work.
The only reason I say that I feel like if you did quick videos of you
Mhm.
making your products, I feel like that
Okay.
it would go crazy because people love seeing creators create things. But just an idea. It's just more.
Okay.
I get it. Trust me. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I'm gonna drive into the ocean. So I get it. But just as far as like
It's so much, but I
the
should. Uh,
just as far as like virality, like it just hits
mhm.
sometimes.
Okay.
But, so I don't know. Did you have another question? But I had one, but if you have one, I want you to.
Well, a lot of people in the chat are also mentioning that your glass jars are great because it's
Mhm.
you're very conscious of everything that you're doing, so you're environmentally, you know, so it's so nice with the glass jars. And then you're talking about the eggs. They are asking about if you are free of animal testing.
Yeah, so that's another thing we're talking about, sourcing. Like that's something that's super important to me. So, yeah, I no oils have been tested on animals. They're literally just like straight extracted from plants. No added chemicals, no animal testing, none of that.
Beautiful.
All right. So let me ask you this. Let me maybe. What do you have any advice for folks who are getting in the game?
Mhm.
Whatever it is, creative, like
Mhm.
anything, like maybe that's like a side hustle to what they're doing, or something that they have
Mhm.
they're inspired by. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to do what you did and start out? I mean, I know you
Mhm.
already said reach out to a mentor and or someone you look up to, and so, anything else that you would suggest for folks to do?
Yeah, just get into it. Get into it, and it might not be it. The first thing you do may not be what you end up ultimately doing, but no time is going to be wasted. All of the lessons you learn from the first thing. I brought an example. Did I knew I brought this for a reason. So when I first got out here, I was stressed out. So I found I used to make purses. I used to just, I had a lot of stress. So the traffic was crazy. So I used to just sew purses, but I didn't want to figure out, like, my mom was also a seamstress, so that kind of made sense. But I used to just sew the corners and made a square purse. But again, no time was wasted because what I did was like I learn how to reach out to people. I learned how to search for different resources, different fabric shops. So yeah, just sourcing stuff and then getting my friends involved. Being able to test a lot of things on them because that's what you need. Like, is a nice circle of people that you can reach out to who are going to be honest and kind and give decent feedback. Even now, like if I make an Instagram post, I send it to a couple of people to approve it, and then I send it to everybody, and I'm like this. Like, why wouldn't you? But yeah. Anyway, just start. No time is wasted. And again, where you start is not going to be where you end up. Like I wish I had a picture of like the first Blue Door jars I had. Oh my god! But my friends like cheered me on, and you grow. You just always get better.
I mean, the parallels to us starting this YouTube
Mm-hmm.
are very similar because first of
Mm-hmm.
all, I don't know if I told this. I in March is when I quit my job of 18 years as
Wow.
a claims examiner at Geico handling bodily. I was on the other side of the table with the attorney, the bodily injury guy, offering the money. But anyway, so like we just
These policy limits.
yeah, policy limits, demands, bad
Yeah.
faith letters, etc. And I was handling litigation, so I was reading the bill of particulars, interrogator, the whole deal. But like, we just jumped into this. But like, if you look at this stream now, just like it's compared to when we started in. By the way, I
Mhm.
started during the Gwyneth Paltrow trial. Was the first trial that I streamed. But the
Do
difference, just looking at the fact that I was able to pull up this website with you and scroll, and like the fact that our background is like a little like moving a little bit, like, and we're all set up is completely different. And you just and it's just learning, like, and same with you, like I was talking before, like we have Steve and Joe, we have this group of people that we like. We have a DM group, and we're just messaging other with like ideas on how to help each other. So it's really, it's very the similarities are very similar to what you're talking about.
that means so much, and it's like not being afraid to put yourself out there. And this is what I learned too along the way. People respect people and they want to see you like go out there and be confident and get it wrong and just say, "Oh, thanks for that correction. Let me get it right." You know, people like want to cheer for you. And that's something that like there are always going to be those people who are like, "Oh, you mess up. Oh, you did wrong. Ha ha ha." You know what? That's giving them some type of comfort they need. Let them have that. But there are going to be so many more people that like cheer for you and want to see you grow, and you know, they want to put their energy and support behind you. So, you know, you just can't be afraid to mess up.
It's so freaking. That's what J Nation is. These people. If it wasn't for like
Mhm.
all these people here in the chat and are on Twitter who are like supporting all the people that I support, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
doing this. Like they signed up for Patreon. They followed me from being demonetized on YouTube to starting, to going on Kick, and like you're so right. And there's always going to be those people that are going to give you, we have our detractors, but like
Yeah.
the and I think with you also is you could tell you're genuine, you're kind.
Oh, I'll take
Uh,
that. Thank you.
well, no, I mean you really you could feel it just by talking to you that, and people want to root for those people, particularly when they're taking chances because like everyone wants people to, if they're taking a chance to succeed, I think, like generally, and that's what we're all about, like we're promoting people, and like that's why, like when I was like let's get Afi to 1,000 Twitter followers, everyone's like yeah, let's do it. Like they want to support like the people that
Yeah,
support
thank
you.
you so much. Like your team, your people. Oh, like it's overwhelming, you know. I'm so grateful to you guys and to like, you know, your team. They are wonderful people. They're wildly supportive, you know, and I'm grateful and humbled by that. So,
Well, we're grateful that you'll come on the show with us, like and talk about this stuff, because I think it really can
mhm.
help a lot of folks listening to not only this, but breaking down the witness tampering and Melly, etc. Like
Oh my
the
God.
amount of knowledge you have, and it really helps everyone. But I don't know, babe. Any? Do you have any final thoughts, babe?
I took several notes of things that you said because you said so many little nuggets that I'm like, oh yeah, I need to, like, I just
Oh.
love when you said, let them have that,
Hmm.
because that is such a good way to live,
Yeah.
when the negativity is coming at you. So I really loved that. But I wanted to I wanted to give you a minute because I know you brought another book, and I'm a
Oh,
bookworm, so I
Oh, and the
wanted you
hat. I didn't know if you wanted to bring up the hats too. If you wanted to bring
I
up
well,
the
don't
hats.
know.
again, I want to
It
give you
might be too
time
risque.
to talk about what inspires you in that book.
Oh, so okay, I've got so many. Okay, so I've got my the practice by Seth Godin. That's like my one of my really great go-tos. Because I think this is where I got inspired, where he was talking about like, you know, quit asking for permission and just do it. You know, we're here for a short time. Then my Ayurveda book. I've been wanting to get a little bit more into different types of natural healing. So there's like Ayurveda. I have I have a friend who is a pain management doctor. I think he's called like a physiatrist, and he used to always we used to always kind of talk about like different alternative practices to like healing your body, so you don't have to always get injections, because he did like a lot of spinal injections, but just to like manage pain and how, you know, nutrition can impact that. So I'm starting my Ayurvedic journey. This is The Prophet. Just read this. There's my two favorite poems are on. It's called, you got to read it. Um, on Joy and Sorrow, really good. And then the other one is on Crime and Punishment. It's so good. Oh, okay. And then This might be too much for you guys. Get home. So I just have,
Not
I
too
have
much
a
for us.
line.
Go
I have a
on.
line. Let me see. Looks good on camera. So I have a line of
Yeah.
hats that I just, I'm in my creative phase. And I just, the whole HEAUX is a play on like, I'm like all things Louisiana, all things French. But it was just, I came up with that, and it's kind of like a line of very risque kind of words, because I was just feeling like a woman, and I was just thinking about like my younger self. And I don't know, I think something happened during this creative period where I was reminiscing on like I was made to be ashamed to be like a powerful woman, like walking in my own like sensuousness. I don't know, it was in my 20s or something like that when I was super confident. So I just came up and wrote like a, ton of words. I did file for the trademark for Good Ho, so y'all can't have that. Um,
Back
I did
off.
Good Ho and then Good Ho Productions because I was like, maybe I'll shoot a movie. I don't know.
I
Go
like
through
it.
my little creative spurts.
Where can we get that hat? Can we get that hat?
Sorry. I'm
I'll
sorry,
wear it.
guys.
What are you
So
apologizing for?
just you guys just let me be so creative. So, talking about like where to start, I remember I just like randomly drove downtown to the garment district, looked up and saw this hat maker. Hey, Catch. And I saw this hat maker. So I have her information, and she has a bunch of samples. So I've just got to like email her when we get off of this program and, you know, get these hats made, and I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, I want to be the first person, and I want to wear it on the stream. Why are you looking at me like that,
Yeah.
babe? Why can't I wear
I
that
don't
hat?
know. I mean,
There are a lot of terms. There are a bunch of risque terms. You can have your pick. Let me see. I'm telling you, when I get a idea, I just do it.
Well, don't. I mean, I'm known for just spitting, shouting expletives and some words that folks may not uh, approve of. So don't you worry about us.
Okay.
I just
Um,
didn't know if you related to that, babe. Like you had to, shelter your sensuality because you're a woman. You didn't really relate to that part.
no, but I want to wear a good hoe hat. Is that a problem, Shannon? I can't wear one. Am I not allowed to wear one?
I'm out of this conversation.
I
I
want to
think
wear the hat,
sometimes
babe. I can't wear the
sometimes
hat.
we sometimes we learn that things are not for us.
So you're saying I can't wear the hat?
Things are not for everyone.
All right. Well, I won't wear the good hoe hat, but if any of you good hoe want a hat, we'll let you guys. We'll let the good hoes know. Is there one on Afi? Do you have one that I'm allowed to wear, or none of them I can wear?
Yeah, I was looking up because my best friend's husband actually was like, "Can you come up with a hat for me?" So I don't know where my list is. It's somewhere in my notes, but I'll get one for you.
All right, I'm gonna buy that
Like
one because
I've
I'm
got
not
something
wearing.
for the guys.
Shan has advised me I'm not allowed to wear that. So, um, oh well, for me, I thought it was
It
a cool
wasn't
hat.
like being allowed. It was like accept.
What do you mean?
Accept that it's not for you.
Why can't you accept that it is for me? Because it's fashionable, and I'm very fashionable, and
Ugh.
You guys are the best. Oh God.
you're the best. I can't believe it's been an hour. Thank you so much for coming on. We have creators who crush. Like you're really crushing it, and it's so
Mm.
awesome. Your words of
Oh, thank you
wisdom,
for having me.
of course. And actually, Todd wants me to say who dat or wants you to say who dat. Todd always
Who
wants
dat?
anyone from New Orleans to say who dat. So there you go, Todd. She just
There you
said.
go, Todd.
Baton
Um,
Rouge girl. But who dat? Oh, I can
uh,
get very Louisiana. Love my
so
state.
Charlotte says, Afi, you're great. She is. We love her. Viv says,
Thank you,
thank you, Afi.
Charlotte.
So,
Thank you.
guys, I got the portal set up, Afi. I don't know if you know what the portal is. So, when she does, of course, I don't know why she. When we end our stream, if there's another person doing a stream, it like goes to their channel. So, guys, Joe Jackalone tonight has his stream, which is going to be like right now. He might have already started it. With Light the Way, she's an amazing advocate. So it's going to send everyone into the chat. Afi, thank you so much for coming on. I hope we can have you on again, whether to discuss this or to discuss, stuff that's going on in trials. We'd love to have you on again.
Murder.
Yeah,
I
Hmm.
just
a murder.
hope that you see a little boom from the JBO Nation folks on your ordering, because I really think that there's some people that are interested tonight. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And you guys can hit me up. You can message me or anything. I respond to everything. So I'm really grateful to be on here and to talk about my baby. So thank you guys for having me.
All
Thank you,
right,
Team J-Bo.
you're welcome. Check out Blue Door Organics Instagram, the website. Thanks everybody. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.